Welcome to the Big Four Accounting Firms podcast, brought to you by big4accountingfirms.com. We bring you the latest news regarding the Big Four, along with unique Big Four recruiting advice and the best Big Four career tips to help you with your Big Four career. Hope you enjoy the show. In today's podcast, we are going to be discussing an accounting scandal for one of the Big Four accounting firms, and that accounting firm is PwC. Ukraine's largest bank has filed a lawsuit against PwC in early April 2018. And this is another lawsuit that came from the Privatbank nationalization in 2016. And this relates to audits that PwC conducted of this bank in 2013 to 2015. Privatbank says that they suffered due to the extensive breaches by PwC of their responsibility to audit the financial statements of the bank. And what happened was that over 95% of the loans that Privatbank issued went to former owners of the bank or their affiliates. So what this was is really an insider lending scandal. And the biggest thing that happened here is that fraud took place over several years. So it should have been spotted by what many believe would be a competent auditor at some point. And additionally, these loans that Privatbank was issuing to insiders didn't have collateral a lot of times. In some cases, PwC was even assessing high values to the collateral related to these loans. And they even did this when there was no collateral that appeared to exist. And this bank was privatized, like we said before, in 2016 in order to keep it running. And the reason this was done was because there was a $5.6 billion gap in the bank's capital. And the claim is that PwC should have been able to spot this insider lending going on. It's obviously very important to have a diverse lending portfolio to not expose a bank to one huge risk. And it appears that Privatbank was not diversified in who they lended to, but also that there was no collateral. So not only were they lending to company insiders, but those company insiders were getting money without having any collateral. So what does this mean for PwC? It means that PwC once again faces another existential crisis in an overseas branch. And it's not just PwC, it's other Big Four accounting firms as well. And will this threaten PwC's existence overall? No, it won't, because the risk related to this will be contained to the Ukraine due to PwC's structure. However, this might reach PwC's branches in other European Union countries because there have already been talks in the EU and the UK of breaking up the Big Four and forcing some competition so that audits can have higher quality. The thought is that with more competition, that auditors won't get comfortable and they'll actually be independent and audit their financial statements more closely. And all this does is add fuel to the fire for these European regulators that the Big Four need to be broken up. And how can you take advantage of this as either a Big Four accountant or a Big Four recruit? One thing you can do is if you're interviewing with the Big Four or want to interview with them is mention integrity and how integrity is very important to you. You can also speak about how you have an attention to detail. And you should probably mention both because if you have integrity and you have attention to detail, you can help the Big Four miss these mistakes and miss these huge problems that they're facing. And it doesn't matter whether you work in the Ukraine or the US or the UK. This is impacting the Big Four globally at this point because these scandals keep on coming out every week and they're getting bigger and bigger. So it's going to be mandatory that you have integrity and that you bring that up. And in the US and other countries, there's exams like the CPA exam and there's ethics portions of those exams. But that's not going to be enough because those exams are already in existence and these accounting scandals keep popping up. So if you can mention that integrity is important and that attention to detail is also important, you can help set yourself apart because not many other candidates are going to be mentioning that in their interview. They're going to be mentioning about their eagerness to work for the Big Four and do well in their careers, where a lot of this is happening because people are only concerned about themselves and their careers. They're not worried about the firm and protecting the firm from risk. And if you can mention that you have integrity and you assess risk well and you have attention to detail, that can really set you apart.
We appreciate your help in growing this podcast so we can continue to bring you the best Big Four content possible. You could help us out by providing a review on iTunes, sending us an email with your comments, and don't forget to share with your friends. There's a link below in the show notes. That's our show for today. Thanks for listening and have a great day.